Hi, all. As you all are aware, that we are celebrating mothers. We are celebrating strength. We are celebrating, I don't know, us, right? Because it's good to celebrate us sometimes. Today, I have a very, very, very special guest because she's not just a guest for me, but definitely on the show. This is Manisha. She is my sister-in-law, but I think the in-law part can be ruled out now because we are more like sisters. She has a wonderful journey to share with us, and like we all say, it is always good to know different stories because everyone has a story to tell, and every story and every person is inspiring. So, without further ado and without too much of my bug, let me first invite Manisha. Hi, Manisha.
Hi Amrita, AJ.
So, welcome to this series of strong moms, and I strongly feel that you are a strong mom. I genuinely feel. So, we all would like to know some things about you and some tips from you because I mean, you have three wonderful, beautiful daughters, and you tell us about yourselves now. Come on. So, you tell us about yourselves, your family, and your daughters.
Okay, so I am mom to three kids. Quite unusual in today's day and age of India, where less is more. So yeah, three kids is a bit of a shocker in our culture currently, but it's all right in UK. My eldest one is 12, middle one is 9, and the youngest is 7, trying to be 17. So yeah, I'm very handsful. And then between me and my husband, we do share a lot of responsibilities with the kids because you have to. In UK, you don't have readily house help available. You don't have like the family. Even if family is around, they have got their own things to do. So it is quite formal in that sense, and in a way it's a good thing as well because you learn to manage your own business and you learn to mind your own business as well to an extent so that you give space to everybody around you.
Absolutely.
So yeah, and on top of that, we both are super busy with our own work. My husband owns business, and I'm full time working for a MNC. So yeah, so we've got more than our fair share cut out with kids and running around the whole household. So yeah, I just take the day as it comes. There's no deliberate planning involved apart from the fact that I just need to make sure that I'm trying my best and I'm giving my best possible to my girls because that's the example I want them to lead with.
Sure are doing a wonderful job, and I know it must be a crazy day. Forget living crazy days. So, firstly, tell us. I mean, so how did you manage to manage through all the three pregnancies? Since we are doing this series, we would like to know how was your pre, during, and post.
Yeah, sure. So it's an interesting one, really. With my three girls, all three pregnancies were different. They are very different kids as well. Totally, their personalities completely shine through individually, and that's what I like the best. But as far as pregnancy is concerned, first one was very dramatic because no matter how many books you read, no matter how many advice you take on board, you really don't know what's hitting you. And that was the case with me. I almost felt like I've been like hit by a massive big train face on,
Oh my.
because there was no concept in my head like, oh, like there will be like million times every single night I have to wake up and sort out the nappies and feeding and stuff. There was no concept that, okay, I knew that would come, but I didn't know how many times it would come and how sleeplessness could impact you. So after the first one, I'm not going to lie here. I was down to the gallows almost, because it does make you feel worn out. You're constant in your tracky bottoms, t-shirt. You sort of forget yourself because you don't know. There is no Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It is this day, that day, and other day. So
Absolutely.
you
Absolutely.
really don't know where you're coming and going from at times as well. And it's very important to strike that balance and strike that balance soon enough.
Right.
Um, and most importantly, what I found was quite useful was I was never in the cozy spot that I've
Okay.
got family around who will look after the kids, or I've got somebody who will help me out with the pregnancy. There was no person who is coming as a masher like they do it back home in India. That you'll have one lady who comes and like rubs your back for you and stuff. Nothing of that sort. You just crack
Right.
on with it. So after my first one was born, I was out of the hospital second day, and third day I was out in shops.
Right. Right.
So it's that dynamic, like you don't have time. And with my second one, it was very, very dramatic because she was born preemie, nearly 2.5 months early. She was
Right.
in intensive care unit for nearly a month, and we all call her Christmas baby because on 23rd December she came back home. But yeah, and as I said again, the same story. I went through C-section at that point, but fifth day I was out again, and that's it. I literally was visiting her every day to the ICU. So shuttling between homes and hospital, you never even realize that you have actually recovered. So I find this a big contrast when you compare it to India, because
Correct.
there you have C-section, you are bedridden for 15 days.
Yes.
But here there is no concept of that. Fifth day onwards, you're back on your feet doing chores.
Yes. So, in true sense, you were independent. In true sense, you took care of your deliveries, your babies, and
Yeah.
you were on your toes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the best ballet can be learned from a mother, I would say, because that's how gracefully. Oh, wow, I can see some peeps. Hi, hello.
Somebody is, as usual, as I said, I'm more than hands full. We've got somebody
Yes.
who has to be grumpy at every point. Like they take turns to be grumpy.
So, how was your third one? How was your third
So
delivery?
third one was pretty normal, like compared to, I was so used to drama with the other two.
So,
So third one was
was
pretty normal.
normal, or you felt it was normal because you have already
Yeah, I think with the third one, you almost like chalta hai kind of attitude by the time you reach the third one. So it was a case like I was 6, 7 months heavily pregnant at that point, 7, 8 months actually, and we had just opened the restaurants. I was working there, and I was just going with the flow. Really, my husband was there definitely to help me, support me, and he was making sure I'm not too worked out, etc. But the case like I still have to take the kids to school every day, so there's no like a cozy spot, or there's no cushion to fall back on. You
right.
almost have to strap it up and just work throughout, and that's the best way. I would say that's really good for your mental health. It keeps you thinking. And
Absolutely.
as you know, Abhimanyu learned everything from the mother's stomach, so it's the same way, same example applies. If you enhance your knowledge in this time, if you read good stuff, if you do things which are extremely creative and challenging, your child will be born with a certain aptitude for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, Manisha, you spoke about mental health. Like you
Yes.
need to be strong mentally, right? We all know that. I would like to know, did you face any kind of postpartum? We hear a lot of things about postpartum depression. No one really admits it, agrees to it. But I feel somewhere every woman somewhere goes through it, not as in depression, but that phase in the life post pregnancy, because there is something new that hits you, like you said, like a train hit you. It was that kind of feeling. So what was it? Did you really go through
So
it?
for me, yes, definitely. I'm not going to lie about this. On both occasions, once when Anusha was born, at that point the circumstances were completely different, and I was in my darkest place at that point, and it's taken me good 4 years to revive myself from. So even after Ahana was born, because it was so dramatic, and you're emotionally all over the place, so you just keep on thinking. For some reason you just keep on thinking negative, and the weather is such in Manchester, it's always gray and dark and dull, so it does not help either. So
I
it's a
all
question of exactly. And I mean, it's a question of trying to find that strength within yourself. So I started out with smaller things. For example, I like window shopping, so I just used to put Anusha in a pram, just walk around in Stockport, go around the shops, look for things of interest, check out the different sales, etc. In the meantime, Madhusha came up with this idea of sell some things on eBay. So we started out with that stuff as well. So it in a way, keeping myself busy and sort of keeping myself challenged or looking at my own hobbies, it did help me, but it did take a fair amount of time. And you cannot ignore the fact that it takes a massive toll on you. So, to give you a classic example, at one point, I was less than a size zero because I
Yeah,
had wasted away that much. And I mean, for me, I was feeling brilliant at that point because I was like, oh, less than size zero. That's amazing. But then when you pick up your child and you're breathless, is when it hits you that this is not normal.
correct. So coming to the question, like you rightly mentioned, that size zero is not what we aim at, but being healthy and fit.
Yeah,
Like you mentioned, like you were size zero, but if you are not feeling healthy and strong, if there's
yeah,
no power to take care of your babies and of your own self
yeah.
primarily, then it's not going to work. So what is fitness for you, or what is a good diet for you?
So, to be fair, I in these last few years I did do a lot of yo-yo dieting. So like whichever comes up the first thing, I'll try it out.
Okay.
And eventually, as you get old, you grow wiser, as I
Mhm.
would say. So past 30 years of age, I suddenly realized, hang on, I really need to start looking at the perspective of dieting. And once I got that clarity, it was a lot easier. So simple, basic things like don't eat gluten stuff, because if you are feeling bloated constantly after eating food, then cut down on lactose content, cut down on gluten content, increase fibers in your food. So we have all studied this in science in school, but never got to apply it.
Correct.
And it's this simple common sense, and it dawns upon everybody at some point in life, but it just, when does it dawn upon you? It's either before you are diagnosed with diabetes or after is the question.
Fine. Yes, absolutely.
So for me, like, I wouldn't say I'm like the healthiest eaters, because my job is extremely desktop related job, so I'm constantly sitting down and working, which means I have got a like absolute favorite is caffeine. I love tea and my coffees, which is not great. I should not be even be saying this, but
No, but it's
uh,
okay. We all need our poison, to keep ourselves.
exactly. And absolutely, and and then it got to a point where I was like, okay, I just can feel acidity every single day after I finish work. So
Right.
then I substituted that. So first thing I do is, every time I feel like drinking tea, I'll just drink hot water or boiled water,
Hmm.
or turmeric tea or mint. I've got plenty of mint in the back garden, so I just
Right.
pick few leaves and put it in the water and just drink it.
Right.
If anything, it has helped me. I do like to take care of my hair quite a bit as well. And so for me, fitness is essentially feeling good about yourself. It is
Right.
not about bringing your size down. It should be, you should be comfortable in your own make and body.
Yeah.
Like, if you carry yourself well, that is fitness for me, because that does take effort, and that does make sure that you want to look good, you want to feel good within yourself, and that's key. So for me, that is fitness. I don't aim for reducing my size. I'm not going to reduce, my genes don't permit me to do so. So I just have to accept the fact and move on, just make sure that I'm presentable whenever or wherever I am.
Wow, such a beautiful thought, and so true. And we are loving the fact that you are just keeping it so real, because these are real stories, and this is what needs to be shared. Because many a times, what happens is everyone keeps hearing about ideal things and the ideal diets and the ideal bodies, but there's nothing called as the ideal or the perfect diet. uh, One very important question I would like to ask you is, you are a Maharashtrian, and an Indian, I mean. Your husband is a Sri Lankan, and you all live in Britain. So, what food habits do you have? Do you follow in? I mean, I am aware, but you please share with our
No, no,
viewers.
I get it. You have known me this long now, Amrita. Like, I love experimenting. I love cooking different styles of food,
Right.
Mexican, Japanese. I give it a go for everything.
Mhm.
And we are a very international family. My kids are British. I am Indian. My husband is Sri Lankan. And I believe UK is the best place because there is an array of cuisine you can go after,
Right.
and there is all the ingredients and everything that you need for cooking are readily available, so it's not a question that you have to go specially sourcing for things, etc. It is just available for you, so it gives me a pleasure in the fact that I can actually make all these different things. So we don't follow a particular kind of diet in the house, but I do try to sort of cook a variety of meals throughout the week.
Right.
So, and then the days when I'm really lazy and bored, we just get something from our own restaurant. It's easy to have that then. But
I,
the focus is highly on getting more greens to the diet, making sure that they're eating different variety of beans. So not just sticking to the yellow split beans or yellow split dal. It is like white beans, butter beans, black-eyed beans, so that the girls know that there is a different variety of aspect. Because British food is very bland as well. So it's purely boiled carrots or steamed cauliflower and stuff like that, which I don't personally like, and that's because of my Indian heritage. And
we love,
thankfully, my kids don't have that palate either.
yes, we love our spices. We can't live without.
Absolutely. And I love good, like I don't mind continental food as well, but
Right.
places like, for example, places like Italian or Spanish, their food is absolutely gorgeous. Lots of flavors. It doesn't have to be hot, it just needs to have good spices in it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And many a times, spices is related to spicy, but spices is
Yeah.
not
No,
spices brings
it's
out flavor.
not. It's not to make the food hot. It's just to give good flavors to the food.
Absolutely,
And that's
absolutely.
what I enjoy the most. So, and our travels influence what we make at home massively. So, like
Yes,
we went to Mexico, and after that, we made the guacamole so many times in the house. We cooked the pasties, the Mexican pasties, so many times in the house. So, yeah, everywhere we go, we try to bring back a little piece of culture from there,
yes.
food
You
wise.
absolutely no, and you truly are a global family. I remember your middle one loves Japanese food,
Yeah.
so and it's such a wonderful thing to have this kind of atmosphere, this kind of habits, and these kind of things at our own place. Because at the end of the day, if we are trying to, if we are talking, think globally, act socially, and all these big messages, the best way to start is through your family. And
Yes.
I can see that absolutely happening in your family. I mean, you have traveled globally, your family, you are a global family, and you eat the global cuisine on the plate. So how that can be, I mean, that's the most beautiful thing. uh okay, before we end it, I would like you to give a nice small message for all our viewers. What would you like to share with all the mommies?
For me, every mom is different. Each mom does the best they can do for their kids. Nobody has a shadow of doubt, and nobody should have a shadow of doubt of what they are being deemed as or what they are being perceived as, because it's nobody's business really how you raise your kids, or how are you looking after them, because I believe most of the moms do think best. And important thing here is we need to adjust each other's crown. we,
Absolutely.
we need to make sure that we are not, if somebody is like, if you feel somebody is falling through the cracks, we need to go and speak to that person directly, as mothers, as women. And that's what would help each other, and that's exactly what you're doing, Amruta. Here you're bringing along all the moms. I don't think I'm particularly a strong mom. I just go with the flow. But
Oh,
thank
come.
you so much for extending that courtesy to me today on the call, and it's been amazing. But for me, feel great in your own skin, feel great the way you are, and think that you are the most amazing mom out there. And yeah, everything else will just rocket.
Absolutely, yay. And that coming from a great mom herself. I don't like calling super mom because motherhood is already so glorified. And again, carrying these big titles like super and multi talented and multitasked, multitasking moms, I feel somewhere then the daddy is able to, but
Yes.
I'm so happy to see that in your family you all work together towards building your days and your lives together. So
Oh,
this is,
absolutely.
yes,
I mean, Madhusha doesn't really have a choice. He is the majority is girls in this household, so he doesn't really get that
is that
choice. He Yeah, absolutely. He does pull his sock up when is it's needed, and we do work along together. So even if like a lot of people think like, oh, it's a girl, it's all girls, so they need to learn early. That's never been a thought for me ever. Even if it would have been a boy, it would have been the same thing. Do your own things and be independent, because that's how I want my kids to be. And that's key. All households should be doing that. And once they start teaching their kids to mind their own business and do things, like be independent, automatically half of the problems in the society will be resolved, I think.
absolutely, absolutely, Manisha. And I think so. We have also touched a very important topic as we are going through the Strong Mom series. This has been such a wonderful talk. I mean, we keep talking to each other all the time, but this talk today was really different. And I'm sure all the viewers who are going to listen to this, who are going to watch this, are going to be inspired from you, by you, and with you, with all of us together. We all are going to be inspiring each other. Thank you so much, Manisha, for coming and joining in on this series. For so much from India. Thank you from India.
Thank you, Amruta. It was absolute pleasure once again. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
So, bye. Take care and Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata.
Bye.